Hey, dude.
How's it going?
I got a message that they're asking for mask mandates to be reinstated on planes. I feel like that's going
Why?
to go over
Who's
well.
asking for that?
The Biden administration.
I thought planes were always a bad. All right, it doesn't really.
It doesn't matter. Anyhow, welcome back, everybody. This is last call, and I almost spilt my empty beer. That'd been a bad idea.
All right, I looked up Panthersville. I did it.
Yes.
While I was about to log on to here, I was like, I can find this really fast. So there was like this family, and they were heading through Decatur, and they were attacked by an 11-foot panther. Apparently,
I feel like we've talked about this before.
What?
We talked about the story. I feel like we've talked about the story before.
I don't know if that's true.
Keep on going. I want to hear it.
So the man decided to throw the daughter overboard, apparently, to distract the panther from attacking them on their horse-drawn carriage, and the wife said no, and that's the story, and that's it. There wasn't even more of a story. I found it on GPB, and it was that was it. Was they made it home after, like, the dad was like, throw the kid overboard. And the mom was like, no. And then no one died. Dad was just trying to find an excuse or something.
Overboard in Panthersville? What's overboard in Panthersville?
No, they were on like a horse and carriage type deal. So like overboard.
This is what it feels like when someone's not listening to you, Ryan. I wasn't listening to you. I was texting somebody. So that's what it feels like.
Off the boat, David. There was a boat in there.
There's this boat going down Panthersville Road.
That's right.
So
wait, on the way to the dump.
Well, that's the thing. That's the way a lot of places get named. Is like, just we saw something there, so we call it that. There's I know I've talked about it before. There's a spot between Nashville and Memphis, closer to Nashville, that's called Snort, Tennessee, and I guess someone just
snorted?
Like, hey, remember where we saw that buck snort? Yeah, buck snort.
Yeah, it was back in buck snort.
By the way, buck snort has turned into a place that the gas stations have a lot of like sex shop type stuff going on now. I say now, I probably haven't been there in 15 years, but yeah, it used to be a place I would drive by and laugh at, and then I stopped there for gas once, and they had like little figurines of like frogs like humping each other and stuff. It's weird.
That is weird. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I don't know. Killed that one, didn't we?
Sorry. I mean, I
mean, can you just imagine, like, you're you get your sex toy or whatever you have, and you're like, this came from Buck Snort. I'm like, no, it didn't. Like,
yeah, exactly. No thanks.
Exactly. Do not name your lube Buck Snort.
Wait, now I'm intrigued.
Now you're intrigued.
Now I'm intrigued. Anywho,
one thing I didn't talk about. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What did you say you put as binder on your smoked meat? What did you do? You said chili sauce, vinegar, and
hot sauce. Which hot sauce already has vinegar in it?
Consistency of mustard?
No, but it's just really, hell, you could just do a little olive oil if you wanted to. It's just adding a little moisture, a little something that sticks to the meat. To hell, if you wanted to spray it with a little bit of water, but they tell you to not add water to the meat because you don't want to steam anything. Just a little something to get a little more adherence, so that the dry seasonings will stick to the meat. You get more of a bark. Well, you're supposed to dry off all of your meat before you cook it.
I pat it down. I make it pretty dry, but it's still like stick. I mean, it's meat. It still sticks.
And you can reapply throughout the process. I think that's just a way to get a chance to get a lot of rub on really quickly, and a lot of salt on there to create a bark when it gets to those initial stages of smoking.
Well, and I've never quite gotten a good bark, so maybe I should find a good binder, and maybe that's my problem.
Dude, use olive oil or vegetable oil, or just a little bit, not a lot, just enough to get a little glisten on it.
But I like what you talked about because it adds flavor. Like you were talking about, like you add that chili flavor to it, and you add the vinegar and all of that adds something.
The chili sauce was a little too sweet. Hot sauce, a little too hot. But then the vinegar in there just kind of mellows everything out, and just
Yeah.
I feel like it's a little bit extra effort for a binder. But yeah, if you're gonna do something, if you're gonna do anything, do something that adds some flavor to it.
Yeah. No, I'm in.
So,
I'm gonna try that next time.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know what, but I don't know what I'm gonna do next time, but probably a butt. That was so easy and cheap and
Oh
delicious.
man, you missed. I should have messaged you that you missed out. They had like basically half off butts at Kroger over here. I got like 8 of them for like $40.
Jeez.
Yeah, yeah, they're all in my freezer right over here.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, we're doing a party for some friends. We're doing a baby shower for the house in a couple of weeks, and it's
You
my
need
wife
8
wanted.
butts? How many
Well,
people are gonna
no,
be
I just
there?
I bought them. I'm probably gonna do 2 or 3. I'm not sure exactly, maybe 4,
Yeah.
but probably 2 or 3. And but my wife wanted to name the baby shower a baby Q, and I'm like, that sounds like you're barbecuing a baby,
It sort
but
of does, but it's brilliant still.
yeah.
Kim's right. Kim's right, man. You should do that.
My problem is if barbecuing a baby, there's just not a lot of meat on there.
But it's all very tender already.
I knew you were gonna
And
go
it's
there.
perfect for barbecuing because there's lots of fat.
Not that much fat.
It's like, God.
Use the mother's milk for binder.
All right. I can't anymore. I tried to let it go. I feel like a terrible person.
You're not that great of a person.
That vote for Ryan Graham for lieutenant governor.
I was wearing your hat the other day. I went to go meet a friend of mine, and you came up in conversation. I forget how. It had nothing to do with politics or anything, but I was like, oh yeah, my hat. This is his name right here. I'm wearing his hat. Vote for him for lieutenant governor. She was very impressed that I knew someone running for lieutenant governor, but I don't think she was very impressed that it was Libertarian Party.
No way. I'm very impressive.
Yes, that's how I introduced you to all my friends. This is my very impressive
Ryan.
friend.
He's very
Ryan
impressive. I was today at work. One of my coworkers came up to me and showed me a picture of a Ryan Graham sign. He was like, "Look what I found! Like out in the wild." I was like, "Yeah, that's my house." He had taken a picture of my house and came and showed it to me.
Like, can you believe it? It's got a Georgia State flag as well.
Oh boy, I was like, I don't even know what to do here. This is sort of embarrassing.
So now your coworker knows where you live.
That's true. That's true. He did make a joke about that too, but that was less relevant to the funniness of this conversation.
Maybe he was just stalking you to begin with, and this was his way of testing the water to see what you felt like about him knowing where your place was.
It was weird. I was like, "Oh, you have a picture of my house in your phone? Okay."
There you go.
What are we doing next? Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. Yeah. What'd you think?
Mixed bag. Mixed bag.
I was not expecting Leia to be in it,
or such a prominent role.
Yeah, and looks like if you look at IMDb, she's got 6 episodes. There's only 6 episodes. I mean, IMDb could be wrong. Like they could have just assumed that she's going to be in 6 episodes until they'll prove it otherwise. I wasn't. Not expecting that. Not expecting that. That girl is the girl from Bird Box, and also We Can Be Heroes, that kid movie.
Have you seen all the TikToks of people making fun of the chase scene though, where like they were capturing her and how stupid it looked? Like it was just really bad. No,
I've literally been spending the past weekend in my backyard working on posts and stuff.
Did Favreau do this too? Is he directing it?
Ooh, I don't know about that.
He directed Boba, right?
He did. Him and Dave Filoni did Boba or Mandalorian, and I think Boba. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Mandalorian was somebody new every episode. They might have doubled up some, but like they had a ton of directors.
The directors, but the story was by Favreau and Filoni.
Yeah. But, so the directors are who I would be criticizing here because like that spin move in Boba, the spin move that everybody makes fun of.
Mm-hmm.
And then the chase scene for Leia, like this little girl running through the forest, and these mercenaries are like, oh, like they look stupid, and they're like, not keeping up with her. Like they like there's like these little tiny things in the way, and they like make a big deal out of it, and like it's really poorly done.
Like a bad infomercial where like, all of a sudden you try to open up a Tupperware container of spaghetti and next thing you know, it's all over yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever
Yeah.
seen Wet Hot American Summer?
No.
So you should, because it's hilarious. It's one of the best comedies ever made. But they put this like bale of hay in the road and the person's running and they're like, what do I do? What do I do? And then they like slow-mo jump over it and they're like, he's doing it. He's really doing it. And like he just slow-mo jumps over it.
I feel like slow-mo is how I do all my physical activity.
I'm gonna start calling you slow-mo.
Slow-mo. Yeah, like I said about doing this fence stuff in my backyard, I had spent 2 days in the yard. No, I was on my third day in the yard, and my neighbor actually had brought a fence company in to start doing a fence for him. And I'm like, fuck you, James. I'm like, here, these guys are make me look bad. Like they're gonna finish this fence in one day. I've been working on this for 3 days. Sure enough, like 3 hours go by, and I look over to the guys in charge of the fencing company. I'm like, I knew you guys treat me better than me. I've been doing this for 3 days. You've been doing it for 3 hours. And you're ahead of me. You've already done more than I have in 3 days. Like screw you guys.
They do it all day, every day. You had to learn.
Oh, I know that's their core competency, and mine is just drinking. But man,
you're good at whatever you do at work. Whatever that. Do you drink at work? Is that what it is?
I'm good at keeping a job. Well, I'm good at keeping this job. I have been fired in the past.
Oof. No good.
I got
really.
doxed.
I don't think I've heard. I was fired one time, and it was the person who fired me was trying to protect their job because I found out they were stealing.
Well, I kind of got fired once. If you can you get fired after turning your notice?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like this was when I did retail sales. I turned in my notice. That I was only working 1 day a week. I was working. This was in college. It was like my high school job, and then was in college. I worked 1 day a week.
And they were like, "Thanks for your 2-day notice. You can leave."
Yeah. Well, no. I turned in my notice, and I worked. I think it was like Sundays. The only day I worked. Maybe it was Saturdays. I forget. And I turned in my notice. Like next Sunday is my last Sunday to work, whatever. And then I went to lunch on my lunch break. I went to lunch with some friends. And they're like, "Let's go do this or that, or just start drinking or whatever." And I'm like, that sounds more fun than back to work. And so I just didn't go back into Circuit City that day. And I showed up the next Sunday or Saturday, whatever it was. And they're like, "You don't work here anymore." I'm like, I wish someone would have told me. I wouldn't have got out of bed this early.
Yeah, that would have been really convenient if I was informed.
Right. But no,
also, it would have been very convenient for them if you had informed them you weren't going to come the previous week.
Yeah, it takes one to know one, right?
That's right.
No, I got deuced or doxed or whatever you want to call it at a job for my online presence, and I got fired my last job before this one I have. This one that I've had for the past 14 years. Yeah.
You were doxed and fired from there?
Yeah, they called it deucing back then because I had a blog. And they found my blog and they fired me because of it.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Well, it's Georgia. It's right to work state. They can fire me for whatever reason. And as a libertarian, I'm supposed to agree with their ability to do that.
That's true. That's true. You know what? Toys R Us fired me. I worked there for a little while.
Toys are not Ryan.
Yeah, I worked there for a little while, and then I went back. One day, I was driving to the Toys R Us at North Point Mall, and I instead of turning to go to Toys R Us, I just turned into the Macy's, who had previously hired me for other things. And I was like, "Can I have a job?" And they were like, "Yes." And I was like, "All right, I can start right now because I'm supposed to be working at Toys R Us."
Did you take off your Toys R Us like little polo or pin or anything, or just like kind of start working at Macy's wearing a Toys R Us purple shirt?
No. They were like, "Do you need to go like tell them anything?" I'm like, "Absolutely not." And they were like, "Good."
So they didn't even care. Like, if I was hiring somebody, like, "All right, I'm just not going to tell this company that I'm leaving. I will work for you right now." I'd be like, "You're not working for me because who knows if you're going to leave me like the same way."
No, I had legit complaints, and then I went back for my last paycheck, and they were like, "You're never gonna work in this town again." Blah blah. Like they really did. They chased me out. The manager came and like followed me out of the Toys R Us and was just like, "You're not gonna work in retail in Alpharetta ever again." I'm like, "I already have a job. Like, what's wrong with you? Go away." This is why I quit. You're out. I'm out. You know.
I was such a pompous prick of a 16-year-old when I got my job at Circuit City. I had been working at McDonald's, and I did give McDonald's my 2-week notice or whatever. But when I worked at Circuit City, this is before they'd moved on to like the polos and the khaki pants. Like I had to wear like a sports coat and a tie. I was 16 years old. I wear a sports coat and a tie to go sell cordless phones and Walkmans to people in Alpharetta. And so I go to pick up my last paycheck at Circuit City, and I put the sports coat on. I left the tie on. Like, I look at me going to get my last McDonald's paycheck. This job I have where I wear a tie now. I'm so bigwig.
So fancy.
Yeah, yeah.
What was your blog about?
It was called Daily Dose of Dave, and I just wrote every day about something that I found stupid. And
What
going
did they
back,
what did they fire you over? Do you know?
it was one of two things. I tried to be incredibly stupid. I had no idea what I was doing. I tried to be controversial. There was one where I work in IT, and this guy who is in IT, but like I'd never worked with. We're not in the same kind of projects, same kind of thing. He's more like I was like system support, and he was like like hardware, help desk type stuff, whatever. Anyhow, he got into a very bad car accident. Like he nearly died. Like they were like cutting pieces of him apart and like putting in other parts to like keep his legs attached. And it was horrible. It was really bad. But I didn't know the guy. I didn't never talk to him before the accident. And when he came back like a year later or whatever, all these people from all over the office are coming over, and they're like, oh, so glad to have you back. It's so great. So happy you're here, blah, blah, blah. And I wrote this post about how full of shit these people were, that they never knew this guy before. Then they never gave a crap about him. They didn't know his name beforehand. And all of a sudden now this guy comes back, and I'm going to treat this guy the exact same way I treated him before. I'm not going to say a word to him in the hallway. I'm not going to talk to him. I never knew him before. Why would I know him now?
Yeah.
So it's either that one or this one where I was
That's not that bad.
or I was live blogging from a bar in Alpharetta. And so at the bar, the people were laying their kids up at the video poker machines and stuff. And I was like, why would you ever let your kids hang out at a bar next to drunk people? Who could it could be somebody like me. Like this person could rape your kids or do blah, 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 or whatever and shit. And so I was just being
So
stupid.
I grew up going and hanging out at a bar with my dad, but at 10 o'clock, I was out. He was like, 10 o'clock is you're done. No kids in the bar after 10 o'clock, because that's when people start getting dumb, like because they've been drinking. They get really stupid at that point. So it's like you're done. Also, I mean, you went to like the worst case. I
was annoyed that I was seeing
like
these
shock
kids,
jocking.
whatever. Yeah, I was shocked. Exactly, I was shock jocking. Obviously, I've never raped any kids. I've never had an interest in raping any kids.
Good. I mean,
So
I'm go
so
unsaid, but yes,
I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it was purely. I've gone back and read the post and I took everything down, but I went back and I read the post, and it was poorly written and stupid stuff. Yeah.
Man, I learned a lot about David tonight.
You would have learned a lot. Well, you learned a lot about during the blog days.
Yeah, the blog. We were talking. I was listening to something about blogs, where like blogs used to be a very personal thing, like before social media, right? It was like how the everyday person could really get into it. But blogs are dead, right? I mean, it's like the media has come into the blog circle and done stuff like Substack and all that, but like your everyday blog just like doesn't exist anymore.
I think the only people that are really blogging anymore are those recipe people that write, 3-page stories before getting to the recipe.
But they're not bloggers.
It's basically what they are, though. I mean, it's effectively what they're doing is they're blogging a recipe.
Well, they want you to think they're bloggers, but all that story is SEO, so that they can make money off their advertisers. Like, they're not. Yeah, I mean, it's not anything to do with like a personal. Just I want to get my thoughts out in the world.
Yeah, because that's all that shit's boring and no one gives a shit about it.
Well, I mean, it shifted into social media, and then the blog got taken over by mass media.
Yep. I mean, exactly. Because I guess I still follow different blogs, but it's all just media now. It's just specific niche media for this
Exactly.
thing
Yeah.
or that thing. Yeah.
And it's really it is sort of nice because it's like independent media has shifted into the blogging.
Oh
But
yeah,
it's
because
still just not like the everyday person, like you and me, we don't blog.
yeah, I don't have time for that.
Exactly.
No,
Anyway.
and I never had good content to begin with. So
Well, apparently it was good enough to get you fired.
I literally think it was somebody in HR on a high horse that just like, oh, this was the time and age of that kind of crap. Like my boss fought against it. He's like, you guys are being stupid. Like
Yeah.
he's a dumbass. He's a dumbass. Yes, he's a dumbass. Yes, I agree to that. There's no reason to fire him. So
Yeah.
he was upset.
Like he still
Was.
sells printers. He's still a good printer salesman.
Oh no, this is not Circuit City. This is a different company.
Sorry.
I already got fired from there or terminated. I don't know how it worked. Yeah.
Right on.
All right, I think we kind of got 20
We've
minutes.
killed it, man. We did 20
bullshit.
minutes on eating babies and stuff.
Never said eating. Oh, we did say eating, didn't we? We were smoking over there. Using mother's milk as yeah. All right, cool.
Cooking.
Yeah.
We did not say eating, I suppose.
Exactly. It's like, I'm more about the art. I like the presentation, whatever. I don't actually do anything afterwards.
Oh man,
yeah.
I'm fucking fired tomorrow if anybody finds this.
I think you're safe. No, unless they're a Patreon, unless because they won't find it tomorrow. They won't until Friday. So wait till Friday. Then you're
so
fired.
I've got a couple days to find a new job.
Yeah. I don't think any of our Patreon members are employ you at all. So. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. I can't believe you're still here. I can't believe we're still here. We'll talk to you next week about more Georgia State stuff, and we'll find out if Tim ever comes back. If we're gonna ever see that guy again. Where's Tim?
That's a good podcast. That's a good name title.
Maybe that's our title name. Is Where's Tim? For the there we go. All right, cool. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Appreciate it. Talk to you later. Say goodbye, Ryan.
Goodbye, Ryan.
Oh, wrong button. That was leave studio, not in broadcast.
Bye.